Focusing on self-improvement over external distractions begins with a deliberate choice to redirect your energy inward rather than outward. In today's environment, where opinions and comparisons surround us constantly, it is easy to be caught up in what others are doing, thinking, or achieving. This outward focus drains mental energy and often leads to discouragement or envy. By turning your attention inward, you reclaim control of your growth and progress. Self-improvement is not about shutting the world out entirely, but about choosing where to invest your time and effort so that your personal development becomes a priority. When you actively decide to work on your own character, skills, and mindset, you begin to build a strong foundation for your future success, and that foundation is something no one can take from you. This process starts with honest self-assessment. Instead of constantly measuring your worth against others, ask yourself what areas of your life you can improve. It may be your discipline, your knowledge, your health, or your relationships. Once you identify these areas, you can create a clear plan for growth. When you focus on developing your abilities rather than competing with others, you stop chasing their approval and start building your own confidence. This shift transforms how you see yourself and how you approach challenges. You become proactive rather than reactive, constructive rather than comparative. Over time, this mindset turns into a habit, and habits shape destiny. Another aspect of prioritizing self-improvement is learning to filter the information and influences you allow into your mind. Not every voice deserves your attention. By setting boundaries on negative influences, gossip, and distractions, you protect your mental space and make room for learning, reflection, and creativity. Reading, practicing new skills, or spending time in thoughtful reflection can replace hours lost to meaningless scrolling or unproductive conversations. This is not isolation, it is intentional focus. You are choosing to cultivate your potential instead of wasting it on things that do not serve your future. When you make yourself your main project, something powerful happens. Your sense of purpose deepens. You begin to see progress not in leaps but in steady, consistent steps. This steadiness builds resilience, and resilience makes you capable of handling setbacks without losing your direction. People who focus on themselves do not escape challenges. Rather, they equip themselves to handle those challenges with strength and clarity. They develop patience, discipline, and a stronger sense of identity, all of which become valuable tools for navigating life's uncertainties. Ultimately, focusing on self-improvement over external distractions is about taking responsibility for your own growth. It means recognizing that your success, happiness, and peace of mind do not depend on other people's opinions or actions, but on the choices you make every day. When you invest in yourself, you build a future that is solid, meaningful, and resilient. This inner focus may not attract immediate applause, but it creates a lasting impact on your life and on those who watch you grow. Silence is often misunderstood as emptiness or passivity, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful tools for growth and wisdom. In a world full of noise, opinions, and constant stimulation, the ability to remain silent allows you to step back, breathe, and see things clearly. When challenges arise or emotions run high, staying silent is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of self-control. It gives you the chance to process your thoughts and emotions before you respond. In this pause, you gain perspective, and with perspective comes better judgment. This ability to hold your tongue and gather your thoughts can prevent unnecessary conflicts, save relationships, and protect your peace of mind. It turns a potential outburst into an opportunity for understanding and a hasty reaction into a thoughtful response. Silence also nurtures reflection. When you take time to step away from the noise and sit quietly with your own thoughts, you begin to hear your inner voice more clearly. This is the voice that tells you what truly matters, what your values are, and what direction you should take next. Without moments of stillness, it is easy to lose yourself in the chaos of the world. Silence gives you the space to evaluate your goals, your choices, and your actions. It helps you see patterns in your behavior and understand the lessons hidden in your experiences. Through quiet reflection, you develop self-awareness, and self-awareness is the foundation of growth. Another power of silence lies in its ability to teach patience. When you choose to stay silent instead of rushing to speak, you are practicing restraint. This restraint strengthens your character. It allows you to listen more deeply to others, to truly understand what they are saying rather than simply waiting for your turn to reply. People who know how to be silent are often better listeners, and better listeners build stronger relationships. They earn respect not by dominating conversations, but by valuing what others have to say. In doing so, they also gain more information, which makes their own words, when spoken, more meaningful and effective. Finally, silence gives you strength. It conserves your energy for the battles that matter. Instead of scattering your focus on arguments, gossip, or pointless debates, you keep your attention on your own goals. This makes your actions deliberate and purposeful. When you do speak, your words carry weight because they are not lost in constant chatter. In this way, silence becomes not just an absence of sound, but a presence of power. It signals confidence, self-mastery, and depth. By embracing silence, you create a life of clarity, patience, and intention. A life where your actions speak louder than any words you could say. Transforming inner focus into outer strength begins when you realize that everything lasting you build on the outside starts from the work you do on the inside. Discipline, patience, and clarity of purpose are not things you can borrow from others. They are developed quietly within you through consistent effort and self-awareness. When you invest time in learning, planning, and self-evaluation, you create an inner foundation that supports you through every challenge. This inner foundation becomes a kind of armor, strong but invisible, that protects you from discouragement and doubt. It allows you to walk into difficult situations with calm confidence because you have prepared yourself from within. Inner focus means more than simply thinking about yourself. It means actively shaping your habits, your mindset, and your values. By setting aside regular time for personal growth, reading, learning new skills, reflecting on your mistakes, you strengthen the parts of yourself that cannot be shaken by outside criticism or setbacks. This self-discipline transforms into outer strength because it gives you direction and consistency. People who cultivate their inner life do not need to announce their intentions. Their actions over time, reveal their commitment. They do not get lost in every distraction or discouraged by every obstacle because they have a clear vision of who they are and where they want to go. This transformation also creates a quiet kind of leadership. When your inner life is strong, you naturally influence others without forcing it. People notice your composure, your patience, and your steady progress. They see someone who does not just talk about values, but lives them out. This is far more powerful than trying to impress others with words or appearances. Real influence comes from character, and character is built in private before it is displayed in public. When you invest in your own growth, you become a living example of discipline, resilience, and integrity. This kind of example inspires others because it shows what is possible through quiet determination rather than loud declarations. Another benefit of transforming inner focus into outer strength is the ability to handle adversity with dignity. Life will inevitably present obstacles and disappointments. But when you have done the inner work, those challenges no longer define you. You meet them with courage and adaptability, not panic. This calm strength is contagious. It reassures those around you and helps them find their own stability. In this way, your private efforts not only strengthen you, but also uplift others indirectly. Ultimately, the journey from inner focus to outer strength is about aligning your thoughts, actions, and values so that they reinforce one another. You are no longer pulled in many directions by outside pressures. Instead, you move forward with purpose. Over time, your consistency becomes your testimony, and your results become your voice. This is how you turn quiet personal discipline into visible strength. Strength that endures, inspires, and leads without demanding attention, ladies and gentlemen. As we reach the close of these thoughts, remember that every great change you hope to see in your life begins quietly inside you. When you choose to focus on your own growth instead of the noise around you, when you embrace the power of silence instead of constant reaction, and when you allow your inner discipline to shape your outer strength, you create a life that speaks for itself. You do not need to compete with every voice or prove yourself with every word. Your character, your patience, and your steady actions become the message. In a world that often rewards speed, noise, and instant attention, dare to be the person who grows in depth, who learns before speaking, and who builds something lasting rather than something loud. Let your focus become your compass, your silence your strength, and your progress your proof. The journey will not always be easy, but it will be real, and it will be yours. So go forward today with a renewed commitment to look inward, to guard your peace, and to let your results do the talking. That is the path to a stronger, wiser, and more purposeful life.